All right, Car Mechanic Simulator fans, we are back. We had a little mishap during the last video. We got through the video just fine, but upon exiting after I ended the video, I forgot to save the cars. So I have my Ford GT still, which was saved from a previous game, but we're here at the junkyard and we're going to be looking for a car to rebuild since the Smith has disappeared. This looks like I'm thinking it's a Hemi. It's a Hemi. It's a Plymouth Barracuda. The condition is not very good, 7% for global body condition. Global part condition is 13. And the frame is not very good. Interior is not very good. The price is $18,000 to buy this car. We're going to buy this car to possibly redo in the future. We'll throw it in the garage for now, so we can take a look at it better when we get back into the garage. Looking around here, see if we can find anything else. You gotta look everywhere because you just never know where that diamond in the rough could be hiding. Though it looks like we got this would be like a Cobra, Shelby Cobra, but it's called a DC Tycoon. Not in very good condition either. I think we're going to purchase this car too for $11,000, and we're going to throw it in car parking because we cannot put it in the garage. We have too many vehicles in there as it is right now. We'll see what kind of vehicles we got in there. Just looking around for some more cars. Not much to choose from here. I don't go through the junk very much because I can't redo a lot of the parts. Some parts I can, but you can go around to these piles and every once in a while they'll light up where you can find parts. If I can find a pile around here somewhere, I will show you. Nothing. How about here? Nothing. Let's go over here. Maybe this pile has something. Yes, we can search this for junk. So we got tail lights, body parts, cam gears, stuff we can't redo right now. Nothing there. Nothing in that pile. Maybe this pile has something. Kind of looks like no. That doesn't have anything either. How about over here? Do we got anything? No. Oh, there's some. We'll click on that. There's a gearbox V8 for a 4-wheel drive. We'll buy that, buy the engine block, and we'll see if we can't fix them when we get back into the garage. So we're going to exit the garage here, or exit to the garage, and we're paying $503 for these parts to possibly fix them. And as we go back to the garage, it takes a little bit to get back there. It won't be too long. All right, we are 80% back. 80% back. See if we can speed it up a little bit. The gears are not moving, so we're kind of stuck in limbo here. Oh, they're moving now. Oh, they stopped again. Slowly here. And there we go. 100%. We're back in the garage. And here's the Plymouth Barracuda we picked up. The car status is not very good, so it does need major work. So we're just going to move this over to Car Lift C. And we do have that Ford GT that I do plan on doing, but on going back to the junkyard, before I found this, which is basically a Dodge Charger Daytona or a Plymouth Superbird, but they actually call it a Tempest Magnum SE 550. Has a V8 2-carb overhead valve and it's supercharged, so it's going to have it'll be a big engine, and pretty much everything needs to be redone on this car. So we're going to go ahead and start taking parts off this car and try to get this car back to its former glory. We'll take all these parts off, the license plate, the rear bumper. There's not many parts here that left that we can take off. We can take out the rear window. There's a few windows left, no door on that side, no front window, and there's no glass there, but they do have some bench seats in there. We'll bring the welder over. We'll do the outside of the body. We'll move it over to car lift A. So we're going to move this over to car lift A. And this car cost me about $18,000 to $20,000. So we're going to use this for $1,000 to add more. It is nice and fixed, as you can tell. It does all that interior of the work, the parts you can't fix. And we will move this back over out of the way. So this is a Tempest Magnum, and you can see there's supposed to be a blower up top there. So it looks in pretty bad shape as we can get in here and look, and the push rods are not in there, I don't think. They've got a couple spark plugs missing, 2 in there, 3 are missing out of that side. There's a couple push rods and stuff like that. So basically, if we go over here, we click on that, we take that out. We got a couple valve push rods we can take out, and take that out. We should be able to take that head right off, and we'll take the head off. We can fix these heads, but more likely I'll go with the high performance heads. We'll take this brake booster off here, and we will be getting it up on the lift to take the transmission and drive shaft out so we can pull that engine. And as you can see, the suspension's not in great shape. There's most of the exhaust is missing. So we do have our work cut out for us here. So we are going to start right out here, go into the tablet, and we are going to go over to body spot. So you start out at the top with the Bolt Atlanta. So the Tempest Magnum is the last car in the pile, so we're just going to skip all the way down to the bottom. And there are 2 different Tempest Magnums. There's the straight front end and there's the cone front end. We have the cone front end one. So everything's going to be pretty much the same on this except for that front bumper piece. So we're going to look for the Tempest Magnum front bumper, and we're going to purchase that and get the doors, the windows, and the front fenders, the door windows, front window, the Tempest Magnum hood, which I think we're going to have to go into the other upgraded body parts store to buy the correct hood, because I believe this is going to have a blower coming out of the hood, and we'll need that cut out. Or we may not, so we're going to buy this anyways. We're going to back out of there, and we're going to come up over here to the body tuning shop, which you can tell there's like upgraded lights, stuff like that. I don't know if you can buy that any for the Tempest Magnum, but we're going to find out. So we can. Tempest Magnum right headlight, C. So we're going to buy that. And this is the hood B, which has that cutout in it, and it is $1,000 hood, so it does definitely cost a little more. We're going to go with these tail lights compared to the other ones, and we'll go from there back out. We'll go into assembly, and we will put these parts on. And there's that hood with the cutout in it, and here's the front bumper, the one that came with the car, 7%. So we're going to put this new one on here, and these headlights, we're going to put these fancy ones on here. But we're going to go back to normal mode, take that out, and assembly mode. We're going to click back on it, and as you can tell, these ones are going to be like your hideaway lights, and I kind of like that look better than I do like the open lights, so we're not going to go with those. But the tail lights we will replace. Keep putting all these parts on here. Trunk, rear window, and we have the left tail light. This was the original, so they already had these tail lights in it, which gives it a little fancier look, maybe a little chrome looking. We'll stick the rear bumper on here. Nice chrome back window. Put this window in. Put this one in. Put this one in. Okay, and we'll check out the car status. Global is 90%, so let's go back to the tablet, and we will back out of there, go to the license plate. We'll pick oh, excuse me. We will go to, let's go with Kentucky. Like I said, you can we can make our own. In the previous video, we made our own license plate, so HGRY 67 we'll go with, and we'll, oh, we added too many sevens, so there we go. That will be our license plate number. $1,800 for the plates. Those are pretty expensive plates to put on a car. We don't want to go normal mode because we want to be able to put these on, and as you can see, they come, you know, with your custom letters on there. We're gonna have to go back to assembly mode. There we go. And there we go. Let's see about the car status now, which is now 100%. Frame is 100%. The interior is obviously, we have not worked on the interior. We will move, go back to normal mode, and we're going to move this car into the paint shop. So now the car has been moved over to the paint shop. We'll open up the doors here, go in, and we will start picking a paint. So the factory color is black. We can go with black. The black looks good with the chrome. I think we're gonna try to change up the color a little bit. We don't want to go with pink though. And we're gonna give, no, we don't want orange. No green. Can we go to blue? Can we get to blue? It's looking a little purplish. Let's come down here to metallic. This is the chrome, very shiny. See, it's got more of a purplish tint to it, as you can tell. So we're looking for more blue. So let's go a little darker here. A little left, no, that's a lighter blue. It's a fine line between to get that blue just right. This is a matte. Kind of looks like the King from the Cars movie. So let's go with this color. We'll back out of there, and we will take this car and move it back over to the car lift day. Now we do have to take all these parts off. And like I said, this is where I had the Smith truck that I did plan on redoing, but I did not save it when I backed out last time, so unfortunately we did not be able to save that truck. I'll hopefully be able to find another one in the junkyard, and we will be redoing that truck at some point. I would like to be able to do like a Dodge pickup truck at 1.2 if I can ever find one in the junkyard or wherever we may be able to pick those up. I know they got the car salon in here, and you can go to that, but they're pretty much 100% complete. They're 100% complete when you go to the car salon, so really no money to be made there. The cars cost considerably more than you can go to the junkyard and get them for, or even for, say, a barn and find a barn find. The barn finds are going to be in a lot better condition than in the junkyard because they obviously have not been sitting outside. They've been in a barn. So they're typically in a little bit better shape. They're still rough. There's not as much damage to, for say, the outside body of the car, but you do run into the underneath parts are still pretty rusty looking. And as you can see, my seat right there in the way, it's just kind of floating in midair. We're going to go ahead and take this transmission out. Wanted to get all these parts out of the way. Take these little rubber bushings out. And as we continue to tear this car down, would like to go with as many high performance parts on this car as I can find. Would be imagining you can get the same amount for the engine, you know, pistons, the spark plugs, maybe the carburetors, and hopefully we can get like a full chrome exhaust. I'm not 100% sure on that, as typically some parts they don't allow you to get all the way chromed. There are some cars that you can get all the way chromed. There was a what was basically a 57 Chevy I was able to get all the way chrome, I believe. Now we're going to move to the back here and take all this apart. We should have drums here in the back, and we do. Get these small rubber bushings out. I've never gotten to do one of these. It's basically a Dodge Charger, which I did redo. It's orange, 68 Charger. Nice looking car once it was all redone. And it was fun to, you know, take it to the abandoned airport and drive it around and just have some fun with it. And I was able to get that car up to about 125, 130 in the airport before I ran out of room or basically hit the wall. So we got to pull this solid drive axle out. Then we should be able to take this wheel hub 4 off, this knuckle housing off. We'll take this shock out. And it is B, once again, gas tank with no fuel pump in it, so that gas tank's definitely shot. And I have yet to been able to redo a gas tank because obviously it's had fuel in it, gas residue. Obviously it's been probably sitting in the junkyard a while. It probably does not have any gas residue in it, but you know, doing any kind of work on that could cause issues. You never know. Let's go over here and take that rubber bushing out. We technically only need like 4 small rubber bushings. We need obviously more of the regular rubber bushings as we're redoing this frame on this car, the underneath parts, taking all this out. And pretty soon, it was fairly quick, we were able to pretty much disassemble the whole underneath of this car. So it's all done. Nothing left. So we're going to lower it down here. and we will open up this hood, and the engine is completely free. We'll be able to pull that out once we come over here to the engine puller. We're going to move it over to car lift A. Getting ready to pull that out, as it is not in very good shape. So install, we don't want to do that, we want to pull out. So we're pulling it out. Engine stand, we'll click on that and add engine to crate. This is the engine that we just pulled out of the car, and as you can tell, we pulled the one head off already. There's just not very good condition, but we may be able to save this engine block. We're just gonna have to take all these parts off. So we'll take these parts off, see if we can save a little money by taking all these parts off. I think there was a couple spark plugs on this side. I don't believe there's any push rods in it. There is not, so we're able to just take those right out. And we will have to come down here and take all these clutch parts off. Clutch plate, and then the flywheel, of course. Now we're going to back out, and we're going to tip this block on its side so it's easier to get to the pistons and the caps, if there is any, which it does not look like there is any. They're probably just rusted in there from sitting. So we will be taking all these out. Looks like people came for just certain parts that they needed out of this car when it was sitting in the junkyard. So we will pull that camshaft out, and then we will take the engine block off, back out, and we're just gonna put that back so it's sitting upright. We're gonna come over here to the repair bench and try to repair most of these parts. This is an engine block V6 that I picked up out of the junkyard. We were able to fix that. As we go, we're not able to repair the rear end. This is the gearbox V8. We were able to get that repaired. The clutch, which, yeah, we repaired it, but we're probably going to end up putting a high performance one in. So we probably won't be using that. And it does not look, I mean, there are some parts to go through here, and we'll just go a little bit quicker. Try to get through all this, see if I can't find that engine block, and I did not see that engine block. We'll just come over here, check this. Actually, we gotta go to the engine stand. Actually, we shouldn't have to, because we already have that engine on there. We'll go to assembly mode, block V8. So yeah, we were not able to repair that at all, so we're gonna have to get a new one of those. Which is not a big deal. We'll just go into the tablet, get out of the license plates. We don't need that. We'll click over here on engine, and it is a V8 2 carburetor. So we are going to need a cam gear. I believe that's the one we're going to need. We're going to have to buy all these parts, where I know we're going to need these for the distributor. Crankshaft V8, we're just going to buy 2 of those. About 4 of those should do us there. We'll get one of each of those just to cover us. And it was the V8 overhead valve block, so we'll click on that. And then we'll come down here, and I think we can get most of the engine head covers. We should be able to, I'm thinking they're going to be right up here. So that's the A, and then we need the B, which is going to be right here. And then most of these parts, like the exhaust, we should be able to get that in the high performance shop. Plugs and the wires and all that, we should be able to. Also, intake 2 carb. I think we can get that in high performance shop, so we're going to wait to buy that. V8 overhead valve. V8 overhead valve. We do have to buy the piston rings here, so we'll get those. We're going to need that radiator. We're going to need this radiator fan. I believe we're going to need 16 of these rocker arms. So we'll buy those. We need the rod caps. We're going to need 8 of those. And right now we have no free space. So we'll go into our inventory and we are going to sell all the parts that are not 100%. And I don't know how many we were able to sell of those. So we do have a lot of parts in here. Let's go back to the tablet. Let's see if we can buy 6 more of these. Yes, we were able to. So we'll come down. Down here we'll get the timing chain. V8 overhead valve cover, we'll get that. And the push rods, we're going to need 16 of those. And we're able to get all those. The water pump for the V8 overhead valve. Why am I not seeing it here? I see V8 overhead valve, but for K's and other ones. There it is, right there in front of me. And I'm going to get the pulley, then we're going to come over here to the high performance shop, and we're going to get the alternator, cam, should be a V8 overhead valve right there, and the carburetor should be 4-barrel, and we'll get a couple of those. The engine heads, we're going to go back up into A, overhead valve. We're going to need a couple of those. V8 overhead valve right there. We need that. We need this fuel filter and this fuel pump. We do need the gas tank, the distributor cap, ignition coil, ignition rotor. We're going to need the wires. And we need that intake for the 2 carb. We do need the pistons. Get 8 of those. Power steering pump V8. We need 8 spark plugs. And we got to look in here to see if we can't find the intake 2 carb in here. And it doesn't look like it is in here. Oh, yes it is. It's right there. So we'll just click on that. We'll buy that. So now we're going to back out of here. And we are going to start assembling this engine with the parts that we do have. So we'll click on that. Just go through and put all these parts that we did buy into the car. I don't know if we got that. Yes, we were able to repair that. The cam gear. And it is a V8 overhead valve, so we're going to have to go back into the shop, regular shop, and go up here and buy the right cam. And that happens a lot. Most of the time you do end up buying a few extra parts here and there, thinking you got the right part and ends up being the wrong part. So here's the cam gear V8 overhead valve. So we'll be able to go back in here, go into assembly mode, and assemble this. I think we'll get the engine done, get that in. Maybe the end of the video, and then we'll come back and do the suspension a little bit later, and water pump pulley V8 overhead valve. So water pump pulleys are at the bottom. I bought a water pump pulley and I thought it was the right one. Like I said, the extra part thing does happen quite a bit. Water pump pulley V8 overhead valve. So, but that's for a Ford and we want a Dodge, and I'm not seeing the water pump pulley for the V8 overhead valve unless it is up here a little bit. Supercharger, because we do have a supercharger on here. Which might actually make that intake a little bit different. And there we go, we got that on there. We'll put the power steering pump on here. And we're able to throw the belt V8, which I don't believe we have. No, we do not. And there's the supercharger water pump pulley. Fuel filter, the distributor, we can throw that in. Rotor, and the ignition distributor cap. Get that on there. And these little clips that hold the cap on so it does not fall off. And come back out. We'll turn this engine on its side here. And we will click on the engine again. Like I said, part mount. We should have all the upgraded pistons and piston rings. And we'll throw all those in. And then these caps as it brings us in closer. So this is, you know, a pretty fun build. So far, I'm having a lot of fun with it, with just this engine, and not actually, I have not built one of these engines before, so hence why I'm getting a lot of the wrong parts, because I'm used to the ones without the supercharger on it. So we might end up not using those carburetors after all, because with the supercharger on there, I don't know if you actually use those 4-barrel carbs or if they attach to the top of the supercharger. I would imagine there is some sort of fuel system delivery, so it's either carburetor or fuel injected. With the year of the car, the older car, I would imagine it would be carbureted. So, did I not buy 8 rod caps? I did not. Look at that, and see, back into here. So we needed that belt, and I'm betting we are going to need 2 more rod caps. That's what we were planning on. Where is superchargers? Oh, where is the supercharger? We're gonna have to buy that. It is supercharger, VA overhead valve, and yes, it is going to take carburetors. 2 carbs. So we're gonna need that. We're gonna need that. And we're gonna need that. So we'll go back into the assembly of the engine. Put those 2 rod caps. I thought I bought 8 of these, but apparently I did not. Got the right oil pan. That's always good. Let's see if I got the right oil filter. I did. So here we go. And we will rotate it back to its upright position. Click back on it. Assembly. Yes, we are able to put those heads on now. And we did not go into buying. Oh yeah, actually I think we did buy those. The exhaust manifolds. And we did. Nice chrome to match the heads. And we're going to click on this side of the head, get this head on, make it start to look more like an engine. Put these in. And I did get exactly 8. So, and they're all high performance spark plugs. Trying to do as much high performance parts on this car as I can to get the most power out of the car. And of course we got to put these valve push rods in. And we'll put that in, and then we're going to have to go through and assemble all the rockers on there. And you can do it either way. You can put in all the push rods, come back through, put all the rocker arms on. Either way, you're still going to have to go down through. So I've kind of gotten to the point where I just put all these parts in at the same time. It's pretty much going to take the same amount of time to go down through. So, and that way when I get to the end, I'm done, and I can put the valve cover on it, or the head cover. And one last one here, and one last rocker arm. And we are able to get that up there. And of course, here's the supercharger intake manifold, V8 overhead valve. I'm pretty, we did not buy that part of it, but we did buy the supercharger. So we need to buy the bottom portion of this. And it is going to be right here. This is the part we did not get. Hence going back and forth, why these builds take so long. But they are fun. They're fun build to see the engines taking shape and see the car's overall status come up from basically not worth anything to a car worth probably 70-80 grand. I'm gonna guess this Dodge Charger Daytona or Tempest Magnum is going to be worth probably around 90 grand when done. Then you can get into like some of the high-end luxury cars. I've done a few of, I think 1 or 2 of those luxury cars, and they go for about 170, but you do put like 80-some thousand dollars in these cars, and you do make a decent profit. That's how I've been able to generate up to 700,000 as of this point right now. I have 700,000. I have like 3 cars in my garage that I keep. I got a Dodge Challenger in there, the Dodge Charger in there, and I think there's one other car in there, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not sure if I've redone that one or not. I'm interested to see how much that Ford GT is going to go for when it's completely redone. we get this pulley. We did not get that pulley, so we're going to have to buy that supercharger pulley, which it should be. It's right there. Supercharger serpentine belt V8. I think we're probably going to need that. Not 100% sure, but we might as well buy it, and we can always just sell it if we don't need it. I'm not sure if you get full price for it, but... And we got that belt. Oh, there's an extra 3 belts on this, and I don't believe we got this belt. We do not. So we are going to have to go buy that belt. And that's above the timing chains. Serpentine belt A, V8 overhead valve. So we're going to go back in here, we'll click on it, and we will stick that serpentine belt in there. And we need this radiator fan, so we'll put that on there. Here's the carburetors, we'll stick them on. Oh, they are a different air cleaner. So, scoop air filter V8 overhead valve. So, well, we're going to go into here. I'm going to go up and try to find that engine scoop, which should be up towards the top near the air filters. I would imagine that you cannot put the high performance air filter in there. And here's the hood air scoop V8 overhead valve. And this is the air filter or 14C. I think that's what we're going to need. But we're going to come over here and see. No, we cannot buy it in there. So click on the engine, part mount. No, scoop. So that was not the right part. So we need, I wonder if it's down near the supercharger. That could be the place where that is hiding. So we're going to go down here, see if we can't find that. And right there it is. Look, it's even got a fancy chrome piece on top. So we're going to buy 2 of those because 2 carburetors, we need 2 of these. So we're going to click on that, stick this together, and I would imagine, yes, that scoop is going to go on there. And that looks like our completed motor, other than the flywheel and those parts of that sort. So we are going to come over here to the gearbox, buy that clutch release bearing, and then we're going to go over here to the Power Boost shop, and we're going to come over to the gearbox and buy all these high performance parts for it. And we're going to click back on this engine. Video's taking a little bit longer than I was thinking. I was thinking we're going to be closer to like 40 minutes for the rebuild. Definitely over that. But it does take a lot longer when you're buying the parts technically on demand. We don't want to be on the engine. We want to take engine off and add it to a crate, and then we can install that engine at 100% condition right here. And we're going to do that. Then we're going to get this out of the way. And there's our engine installed. We are going to go ahead and fill it with oil so it's all ready to go. And I think for the lack of time and what I have, we are going to conclude this video right now, and we'll finish this car in another video. We did get all the body 100%. The engine is 100%, but we got all the rest of the parts that we got to put on the whole underneath of the car. The interior we got to do. If these videos are informative or like that, just hit the like and subscribe if you like the videos, and if you've learned anything new. These are pretty basic nose. Like, the only thing that I did find out that you could do was actually start the car while you're in the garage, which is kind of a cool feature, and you get to actually hear the car run before you take it out. And I did try to start this car when I first got it. It wouldn't do anything, you know, battery, and then of course all the engine parts, you know, that were missing, there was no chance of it firing up. But I figure I'd give it a shot. There has been other cars that I've bought that we were able to try to turn them over, but they were more complete than these. They were the cars that I got from the barn finds, and they're usually like have everything complete on them. They're just not in good working order. So like I said before, like the videos, subscribe, leave a comment what you think of the build, and we'll go ahead and we'll finish this up in the next video. All right, thanks.